In light of National Cholesterol Month, which it happens every October,
Yeah.
I've got Martin Fletcher here with me. He has a very inspiring story. His journey started back in summer of 2024. So, Martin, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah. I've been heavy all of my life. Well, I say that I'm in my 30s onwards. I mean, I've always struggled with my weight. Um, Sometimes it's been up, sometimes it's been down, but in my head, I was always morbidly obese, and I wasn't always morbidly obese. But in I don't know, maybe I'm 46 now, so definitely my late 30s onwards, I've just really I've been like massively obese, like incredibly obese. I had a BMI of 46. Um, I couldn't move. The usual sort of restrictions that come along with it, potential health risks and stuff. And as a result, I just became increasingly like more depressed and more, or not depressed, but less positive about myself rather than anything. And as a result, um, things started to not work. Like I wasn't able to move as good. Clothes are very hard to buy, and it just became the last sort of 10, 15 years has been incredibly hard. So this time last year, I mean, it's not just that I've decided this time last year. It's a constant battle for me. It's a daily battle for me. So, as I said, fat, thin, or indifferent, it's a daily battle. So for me, it was the last. I started again on this particular sort of exercise journey that I've been doing, and it's probably since I started this particular program at least the 50th time that I've restarted day one
Yeah.
again. So I just started. I was at my heaviest this time last year. I was 25 stone this time last year.
Yeah.
At my very heaviest, which was a couple of years before, just around the COVID time, I was 26 stone. So it was it's just unbearable. You know what I mean? I couldn't live my life like that.
Of course
And
not. And then when you talk about, of course, the mental side of it and the psychological, you're not as
yeah,
positive about yourself. I
yeah,
watched your video that you put up on Facebook. You were saying you were hating photos and all
yeah,
being taken of you. It was just you sounded like you were at rock bottom. Really
yeah,
difficult on you psychologically. But as
yeah.
well as that, were you aware, say, at your heaviest, the health implications?
Yeah.
The severity of the situation. Was that something that was going through your mind? Were you a bit,
Oh,
did you?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I've always been aware that the heavier I get, the psychologically the worse I feel about myself, but also physically the worse I feel because I was really struggling to move. I walk with a limp. You know what I mean? I had all these different things that were going on, and it was unbearable. And looking back, I don't feel it. I don't even feel it's the same person. It's almost mentally, I'm a totally different person than I was. But
mm,
the physical. I mean, I've got two young kids. I'm married. I've got two young kids. God forbid I drop dead today at the weight that I was.
yeah,
I didn't want them to say, "Oh, he could have done something while he was young." In the years to come, like I didn't want them to think, "Oh, I wish he would have done something about it."
of
You know.
course, of
So
course,
I was very aware of the health implications. My body was failing. You know,
yeah,
my body was failing, but also my mind was failing as well because um, I was just sick of being of. Oh, I wasn't. Ironically, I wasn't actually sick. I wasn't actually sick. I had high blood pressure, of course, but I wasn't. The doctor just said to me, you need to make a change, or this will happen, or you'll get you'll get diabetes, or you'll get a stroke, or a heart attack, or whatever. But there was no. Every time I went to check, my heart rate was under the level it was supposed to be classed as, you know, or whatever the different. I don't know the medical terminology, but whatever like pre-diabetes, I was just under the level, but not quite there.
mm,
Um, but I was always aware of being massive.
Being
You know what I
bad.
mean? And gradually feeling worse every day,
Uh,
just gradually, you know?
well, it's just gradual wake up calls, notice physical things.
Yeah,
I've seen, well, you're suffering with sleep apnea,
yeah,
curvature of the spine, like
yeah.
pretty serious stuff,
All right.
stuff that anyone wouldn't really want to go through. And then on top of that, it's kind of timely that, your stories came out quite recently.
Yeah.
October so happens to be National Cholesterol Month. I'm not sure what the doctor said to you about your cholesterol, but were you aware of National Cholesterol Month? Did you know
I
that?
wasn't actually. No, I didn't. I wasn't aware that there was an actual month dedicated to it. The doctors would always say, "Oh, we'll just check your cholesterol." I don't ever remember them saying it was, but, to be honest, I can't remember. Um,
Yeah.
but they were always aware of that. They were always saying, I think it was a little higher. I wasn't, I don't think there was anything, stand outish if you want, like you've got to sort this out, or your cholesterol's. I don't think there was anything like that. But
Mm.
I was aware that, unless I changed it, it could go higher.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. And then now that you've gone through
mm,
what you have done and the experience that you've gained along the way with doing what you've done, how important do you think it is to lose weight, to avoid, to combat things such as cholesterol and all those physical side effects that you were having when?
Absolutely vital. Like I said, this time last year, I had plantar fasciitis on both feet. I had damaged Achilles on both feet, which meant I walk with a limp permanently. Um, this next one wasn't through a particular injury. I didn't injure myself, so to speak, but I just think the increase in weight was causing damage to my joints because I started having real problems with my right knee. Um, I had an injury as a kid, which I've always had and I'll always have. But that was getting worse because the lack of movement I had in my body, it was just so incredibly hard. I couldn't twist more than sort of that much, whereas now you can get around a bit. It's just I got a weak shoulder. I got weak shoulders. I got as I said, starting to get, everyone has a curvature that way. I was starting to get a curvature that way at the top, and it was just, everything became unbearable. It just became just difficult. Even just, I was saying to a friend of mine, just difficult. Just putting my socks on. You know what I mean? In the morning, just difficult to get dressed.
No,
I couldn't live like that anymore. I just had enough.
no, of course not. And that would be extraordinarily difficult to go through.
Mm.
You said as well you were at a barbecue, the
Yeah,
metal chair, you broke the chair.
yeah.
That was the turning point for yourself.
Mm.
But what was it that gave you? Obviously, you've had many wake up calls, but what was it that gave you the consistency to stay disciplined and drive and work every day to lose the weight?
Honestly, I don't know. This time, I think the difference in this time, because this is going to sound really blasé, but losing weight for me was quite easy. Once my head is in it, the weight comes off. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And I'm not saying to the level that it has now, 10 stone, but I would regularly, doing this exercise phase, I would lose 3-4 stone in about 13 or 14 weeks. So a couple of months I would lose 4 stone, and then for me, consistency, because something would happen like a half term with the kids at school. We'll take them out to the park, or we'll go out to the pitches or something, and all of a sudden I've let my body weight in ice cream, and just trying to be the fun dad. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? All of a sudden, oh, we'll go for a bite. We'll grab an ice cream. We'll get some sweets. We'll do, and all of a sudden, I've had loads, and then I've had, the kids might not finish their ice cream. I've had their ice cream as well. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because it's been bought, and that's just it. Um, this time, I just I just took it a day at a time. I just took it a day at a time, and there's certain limitations that I've got physically. And my mentality was, okay, I can't do it now, but I'm going to be able to do it at some point.
Yes.
And I just kept that mentality. Just, just every single day, just be true to myself, really. Just, in a year's time, life could be this if you just apply yourself. You know what I mean? And that's all I wanted to do. I'm 46. I'm at a point where I've got 2 young kids. I'm married. I've said this before. Didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to be, 25% of 40 to 50-year-olds die because of heart problems or die because of a stroke. Or I didn't want that. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be present for my kids. I wanted to be present for my wife. I wanted to be present for myself. I wanted to fulfill the potential that I've got, the potential that my wife has, the potential that my kids have. I want to see our family grow and develop. And the way I was going, it wasn't going to happen. Well, rephrase that, you never know what's going to happen, but I didn't want to take the chance of that not happening.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course, absolutely. And I find that personally incredibly inspiring and unbelievable. There are many people who are, obese or overweight or been in similar positions as you, someone who's struggling. So as you could I suppose it's an addiction, would you say? Would that be fair?
Yeah.
And it's the same with drugs, anything. When you're in that mind state and you're in that position, it's so incredibly difficult to then get out of it. Like what you've just told me, for someone to be in your position, like 90% of people are not getting that wake-up call. So what you've gone through, would you have a message for anyone who is struggling and they've had 50 first days as well and they're just waiting for that click? What would you tell them?
Invest in yourself. Just invest in you. You're worth it. Put the effort into you and take it a day at a time. Just make a diary. This is what I did this year as well. I made a diary. I wrote down every single day what I was eating. Not so much that I was eating particularly. I went on a diet. I didn't go on a diet. I just made a note of what I was eating. I made a note of how I was feeling, what my blood pressure was, what my weight was, and it's there. Good, bad, or indifferent day, doesn't matter how I felt that day. Write it down. I wrote it down, and I felt that's where it was then. And then it's also a way of, in 6 months' time, when at this point I'd lost 6 stone. At this point, when I'm feeling quite bad and I'm feeling, oh God, I'm not really getting anywhere. I've lost any weight in a month. And then I look back at day one, and I was like, God, look how far I've come. And it gives you a little boost when you're feeling down. You know what I mean? You couldn't get any worse. I couldn't get any worse than day one. I was horrendous on day one, on my 50th day one. Yeah. It was horrendous. I felt so unable to not necessarily do anything. I could still do things. I still lead a life. Do you know what I mean? I run a business. I've got a life. But I felt I was just going through the motions. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really feel I was getting the most out of me, and in turn giving the most of me to my kids and my wife and my family and everything like that. So what I would say is just take the time to say to yourself, yes, I am worth it. Yes, I am. And you might not get it now, but keep going, just one day at a time. Just keep going one day at a time. And eventually people start to say, God, you're looking great. What are you doing? And that might be, and in my case, they didn't really notice it till about 4 or 5 stone. But I just kept my eye on the future. This is where I want to be next year. I was a little bit disappointed. I wanted 12 stone in 12 months, and I never got it. I got 10, but
still not bad.
It's still amazing. Looking back, and I think, look at where it was. And so a friend of mine saw the video, And she said to me, never, I can't believe, because we used to be friends as kids.
Mm.
We used to walk to school. Our mums used to know each other. We used to walk to school. I'm talking primary school now, so 40 years ago. And we walked to school every day. And she went, I can't believe that little boy who was like the smiler and the, you know, like so much enthusiasm and like life and soul of the party was struggling so much. Do you know what I mean? Mentally. Yeah. Because I had such a bad view of myself. Oh my God, it was horrendous. Such a bad view of myself. But that was the main turning point. The main turning point was me saying to myself, do you know what? You're worth it. Everyone else, I'm positive about. I'm positive about everything. You know, you can do it. Just go for it. You can do it. But when it came to myself, I couldn't do that. Yeah. Even though I did it, even though I would do it, I'd lose 3 stone, and something would get in the way, and then 4 stones going back on. Do you know what I mean? And that was a continuous for the last 10, 15 years, continuously just on that merry-go-round of the same thing all the time. I'd do really well, something would get in the way, I'd lose the focus and the function, and then all of a sudden I'm back to the start again, and then the numerous repetitions, you know. Yeah. This time I wasn't willing to stop, even though I hoped I could get to 12 stone, or I hoped I could get to 10 stone. I wasn't looking at 12 stone. I was looking at next day. Do I lose weight the next day? And I'd weigh myself every day, and I'd make a note of it every day, and I'd be accountable to myself every day. And with respect to everyone else in the world, there's only one me in the world. There's only one you in the world. I had to be accountable to me. Am I being fair to myself by treating myself like this every day? No, I wasn't. You know what I mean? So I had to make sure, right, just move forward. Doesn't matter if you're not doing the progress that you want, or you haven't lost that pound, or you haven't, you know what I mean? Just move forward and keep looking to where you want to get to. And I can't do it now, but I can do it someday. You know what I mean? That was the difference this time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I didn't want to just go through the motions. I wanted to focus, and I wanted to drive through. And as long as I could be strong in my head, my body will eventually catch up. You know what I mean? The mental strength I had to learn that. I've always had a mental strength. Once a minute, my uncle said to me the other day, "You've always been like that ever since you were a kid. You know, once you wanted something, or once you wanted to get something, or achieve something, or whatever it was, you just, doesn't matter what anyone said, you just go and get it. You know, you just, that drive to go. And I wanted to be healthy again. And my mum said to me, my mum died 4 years ago, and my mum said to me on my last Christmas day, you know, we just try and get some weight off. And I'm like, Mum, yeah, can I have one day where I don't care about what I eat? And it was Christmas Day. Can I just have one day? And then, because every day is a battle for me, every single day is, I look horrendous, I look this, I feel terrible. No, I'm not, no point, I'm not going to do anything. No, but if I do this, but if I do that, but if, and eventually it will be this, and I'll get this eventually. But it was never going to happen with the mentality that I had, because I would make the start, but then I was so easily stopped, or something would get in the way, you know what I mean? But when I got to this year, I just wasn't willing to stop this time. And that was it. That was the main thing. I just wasn't willing to stop.
Which is brilliant. That is brilliant. And fair play to you, because that is incredible. And on a lighter note, now that you have come out the other side and you have lost weight, and you're reaping the rewards of it, you were talking about the physical side effects that you had while you had the weight on. How are they now? How much easier has it become for you?
Well, apart from there's some big long name, some big that I got from when I damaged my back as a kid, I will always have that to an extent. But as far as everything else, the high blood pressure, pretty much everything else has gone. I'm back to normal now. I'm the blood pressure medication I mean, I stopped taking it anyway this time last year, even though the doctor didn't advise it. I stopped taking it because I wanted to get an accurate reading of my blood pressure every day. That's gone back down to completely normal. The quality of my life has improved far more, far higher quality of life than I ever had. I'm able to run, I'm able to, I'm running a sports day, at school this year. I haven't done sports day in 15 years. I'm playing tick with the kids, with my little girls and stuff. And like tag or whatever they call it nowadays. I'm playing tag with the girls. You'll never catch me. Bang, run away, and then they'll catch me, and I'm running after them. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that at all. I just, the only thing that I'm the most disappointed about was the sleep apnea, because I had the retest of my sleep apnea. Now, if you've got sleep apnea, I only found out that I had it when I was about 38 or 39. But I've had it all my life. It's just something I'll always have, and I probably will always have it.
Yeah.
But when I got my readings, you have sleep apnea with 5 occasions in an hour where you stop breathing. That's classed as sleep apnea. If you have 20, that's classed as severe sleep apnea. Now, for me, my hourly readings were 116 times that I would stop breathing in an hour. So, and that doesn't help either, because all of a sudden you get into that circle of, you wake up as if you run a marathon, you wake up absolutely sweating, you wake up puffed out, and you've been asleep, but you're puffed out because your body is not getting the oxygen in, so you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And this is just, and then that means you're exhausted. You might have slept for 12 hours. Not that I ever would, but you might have slept for 12 hours, but you wake up more tired than you were when you went to bed, because you're not getting the right level of sleep. You're not getting into deep sleep where your body can actually shut down and rest. You're actually getting into level 1 sleep, which is, it's like, imagine being asleep and awake at the same time. It feels like that. Like, I remember I used to have a dream where, and as every kid does, you have a dream of scoring at Wembley or scoring at whatever, like. And this particular time, I was taking a penalty at Wembley. I haven't watched football in 35 years. But anyway, I'm about to take a penalty at Wembley, and I'd put the ball down, take a step back, I'd run to the ball, and I'd wake up again, or in my sleep, so to speak. And this would just keep repeating. I'd put the ball down, walk back, run up to take the penalty, and then it'd reset again, and I'd put the ball down, and this was just for hours and hours. And I'd wake up just like that, and it was horrendous. And it didn't help either. But then what happened when I had a sleep test again, knowing that I've lost a bit of weight, I wanted to see where it was. And I went, so naturally, because the mask was a bit loose, as if I sleep on my side, the mask leaks a little bit because I have this little sleep mask thing.
Yeah.
So I sleep on my back permanently, purposely as well, just to do that. So I'm lying on my back, and I've got this sleep test mask on, and he went, so you've gone from 116 to 20, 24 or 25 on my back, which is still classed as having severe sleep apnea because I'm on my back. But again, he said, when you went to your side, I went, well, I don't sleep on my side. And he went, well, you must have rolled over or something because you slept on your side. And don't forget, 5 is classed as having sleep apnea. I went down to 4.
Amazing.
Which means if I sleep on my side, I've cured my sleep apnea. Which is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, literally.
Mind-blowing, really.
Something as simple as amazing.
And I was a bit gutted because if I'd have known that, I'd have slept on my side that night, and I would have been off my machine now.
Yeah.
So I've got to have another retest in about 6 months, but anyway, a bit gutted about that as well. But anyway,
well, hopefully it's all good for you.
Yeah.
And then just one last final question.
Go on.
Is there any particular exercise or thing that you done while you were losing your weight that you thought was the most effective? Like, what?
Yeah.
Was there?
Well, I mean, I've tried every workout. I played football. I haven't played football in 30 years, but I played football to lose a bit of weight. didn't help my ankles at all. And then the next minute, I did a workout called Insanity, which was an amazing workout, but they're all stick insects. They're all these little tiny, muscular, athletic, thin people doing these workouts.
Yeah.
And so because I was so big, that's what caused the damage to me Achilles and the plantar fasciitis. And so I found a workout called DDP yoga. Now, DDP yoga is a guy called Diamond Dallas Page, and he was a wrestler. And I used to love wrestling as a kid, so I knew who he was. So I got onto it because of the guy being a wrestler. But I just thought it was a gimmick, you know, because it's wrestling and it must be something to do with that, you know, and all the rest of it. And that's okay, it's got names and stuff. He's changed the names and stuff. But the one thing that made it blow up was this guy called Arthur Borman. And Arthur Borman was a disabled veteran. He was in the paratroopers in America. And they jump out into enemy lines with the 30, 40, 50 pound bag on the back, plus their own thing. They jump on a parachute, jump out of a plane, land heavily, and then go straight into battle. So one too many of them, and one too many botched operations. And he's got a stomach out here. He's about 5'6", 5'5", stomach out here. He's got a brace on his stomach, his body. He's got a brace on his knees. He's got braces on his arms, and he walks like a zombie. He can only walk 5 or 6 yards, and other than that, he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He goes to see various doctors and various yoga teachers. He thinks that might be able to help me. They all said, no, you're too far gone. Someone passes it over to DDP, and DDP says, I've got to help this fella. So he goes in and he sends him the program, and Arthur sends him a message back with 4 words on it, and it said, I can do this. Because he just went. So he sent him the entire thing. He sent him the program. He sent him everything, and he gave him personal help. He actually went and he worked out with him, and he showed him the right way to hold himself, and all this. And he's got his wrap. You can see on the video, he's got his wrap around. He's got his leg braces on, and he falls over and he gets back up again. And he falls over and he gets back up again. And again, don't forget, he's walking like a zombie at this point. And within 7 months, he'd lost 10 stone, which is the same weight as I've lost. He lost 10 stone, and he's running.
Yeah. Wow.
He's running. So, and then another guy, this is what turned me on to it. It was him and this other guy called Jared. Now, I don't know his surname, but Jared was over 500 pounds, which is something like 40 odd stone.
Yeah.
And he lost, of 500 pounds, he lost 317 pounds in 1 year doing this workout. You should be interviewing him. He's brilliant.
That's cool.
317. That was heavier than my body weight at the time.
Uh-huh.
When I started it, that was heavier than my body weight. He lost my body weight in 1 year. When I first started DDP yoga in 2016, I was 308 pounds.
Yeah.
And he lost 317 in 1 year.
That's insane.
That was 22 stone at the time. He lost 22 stone in a year. And that was the thing that just made me think, hang on, it might be a bit too good to be true, but I'm going to try it. And I went in, and there's no impact at all. Zero. No impact. No damage to my ankles because of tackles, or no high intensity jumps, and not damaging my knees and my hips and my ankles and my feet, and none of that. It's all based on, okay, yoga's yoga. The yoga moves are the same. That's been around for millennia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yoga is yoga, but the intensity of the way you hold yourself doing this workout, and literally as I'm sitting down now, I can have, if I engage every time that you engage a muscle, your heart rate goes up every single time. So then, even if you're just sitting down, if I just tense my arms now, just give me 20 seconds or so, my heart rate's going up. So if you can do that with all of your body, and you're not moving anywhere, all of your body, all of a sudden your heart rate's going up and you're starting to sweat. And I'm thinking, hang on, I've not moved and I'm sweating. So then you bring in the yoga moves. And then as it's it's called dynamic resistance as you do it. So as you're moving your arms into the yoga moves, instead of just, like you see now my arms are quite soft, but if you engage your muscles, bring everything in, and everything's tensed, your heart rate goes up. So that was the workout that I did, and that was and obviously I couldn't do it at the start, but you gradually, just day at a time, you just step, but again, I'd stop it, but I keep trying it, and I'd have like this niggling voice in my head just going, I've got to go back to this. There's something in this. Do you know what I mean? And I'd lose loads of weight. I'd lose about 6 stone in a year over the course of 2 or 3 different attempts, but then it'd go back on again.
Yeah.
But this time I just thought, no, I'm just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And DDP yoga quite literally has saved my life, to the point where now I've got about 25 people wanting me to teach them. Do you know what I mean? Which is so I've joined the program where I'm becoming an instructor now of DDP yoga, which is mind blowing. And I mean, I've said 8 years ago I'd love to be an instructor, but I never thought it'd ever happen.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, in fact, just as before we got on this call, I was actually going over what I have to do for the workout, and what I have to do for the course. So I'm doing the course to become an instructor, and honest to God, it has changed. It's a lifesaver. It's changed my life, and it's changed a lot of people's lives all over the world. And honest to God, I would recommend this workout to anyone. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's mind blowing. And if anyone wants me to teach them how to do it, I will. Give us a shout.
Hey, absolutely. Well, get on there a few people about that. Well, I don't think anyone would be better suited to be an instructor than yourself. I mean, you're living evidence of the workout, and once again, my mind